can't read what that says. I'm too fucked up. Okay. Oh, did I die?
Please. Oh God. Please.
Oh, what the fuck?
Please, no.
What the hell? Subject sector. Ow! SCP-008 infection? What the fuck? When? When on earth did I get infected by SCP-008? I mean, that explains the weirdness coming on, but when was I infected by 008? At any point. I mean, yeah, I walked past the containment chamber, but what? What? Since when did I get infected by 008? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is a bit of an anticlimactic ending, really, but yeah, I'm just gonna give up a little bit here because no matter what I do, 966, 2 instances of 966, and the secret teleporter called 049 are always outside 079's containment chamber when I leave, all the time, which is fucking bullshit because it's behind a double locked door with a key card. Then magically all three of them just teleport behind the keycard door, which is absolute bullshit. And even though and not only, so that is bullshit, first of all, but to add on top of that, apparently I've been infected by 008 somehow, which is complete bullshit as well, because no way in hell did that ever happen while I was... You know, when did it happen? Like, what the fuck? I've only been interacting with 966. So that makes no sense. And then also, I've saved after I've been infected magically by 008, so I'm fucked either way. But yeah, well, you know, pretty much the ending won't be that different, I guess. Well, what I will do is load the game, and I'll go to what's it, 057, the Burning Man, because that's the only type of new content that I haven't seen yet. Because I'm gonna die anyway, I might as well go out with a bang and meet 457 for the first time. But yeah, what the fuck? When on earth did I ever get infected by... Yeah, here we go. When on earth did I ever get infected by 008? That makes no sense whatsoever. And even though I was infected somehow, I fucking... After I got infected... Oh, here we go. After I got infected, I swallowed a pill of 500. So what the fuck? Why the hell am I still infected? 500 didn't even fucking cleanse me. That, even though that is its only purpose. And I'm also wearing the bracelet, which doesn't really seem to do anything either. Or maybe it's like doesn't work against this disease. It works against other things. Okay, that doesn't work. But yeah, what the fuck? When did I get infected by... Oh god, it's so dark over here. Oh. Well, luckily it was about to be right here. Alright. Oh, here he is. Oh, there he is. I mean. 457. I mean, we might as well meet the final bit of new content. At least the final bit of new content that I'm aware of. Oh, 096 is down here. That's interesting. Just what I needed, more SCPs. Yeah. Well, that sounds like... Well, I hear burning, but it sounds like 457 talking. Oh, hey! Woohoo! How do you look without night vision? Oh, Jesus Christ! You were a lot closer than I thought you were. Holy fucking shit. I did not expect him to be that close. So he's really fast, actually. Alright, subject D9341 was found dead inside 457 storage tunnels. The subject seems to be burned down by SCP-457. His body is completely burned. Thanks for mentioning that twice. SCP-457 seems to have damaged the entire area trying to gain as much fuel as possible in order to grow. Luckily, SCP-457 wasn't able to use the elevators to get to the main section of the facility. Okay. Huh. Okay, so he's actually quite fast, so you have to, like, be super, like, on your way, like, careful. Maybe there's, like, some sort of gun, or, like, some water thing that you can use. I just wanted to have a little look at him without the night vision goggles, but he was already right behind me. Okay, but yeah, I give up. I give up. I don't know. I've fucked myself because I saved while I was infected by SCP-008. With the humongous, the biggest quotation marks from here to Tokyo and back, because when did I ever get infected by 008? I don't know. And not only that, I swallowed a pill of 500 immediately after, and I'm still infected. So, okay, sure, buddy, sure. The game just didn't want me to finish it, I guess. But yeah, I do love. There was a whole bunch of new sounds which made me on my which made me feel on my edge with this new update because what's it called? Because I've been playing SCP Containment Breach for ages now, so I'm super familiar with all the sounds. But now all of a sudden there were new sounds all the time, and that kept me on edge because like, oh, I don't know these sounds yet, so I don't know if they're dangerous or not. So that was good with the new. I don't know why they've replaced the hand icon for when you like interact with things. You know, it's been part of SCP Containment Breach for so long. I feel like it should kind of like be part of the game, but I don't know. Could just be me. But yeah, I loved all the new SCPs that they added. A whole bunch of SCPs that I didn't know about. A whole bunch of SCPs that I did know about. You know, of course, 650. Fun but scary. Here, this one, 457. And you know, you have to like go through his tunnels if you don't have a severed hand to unlock the DNA scanner to skip that area. The weird but also a whole bunch of SCPs that I didn't know about. The weird glasses that let you talk to inanimate objects. I mean, I feel like they could have done a little bit more than that with that one. Also, that like ball of slime. I still don't really know what to do with that. The document didn't even properly say what happens. Only that you shouldn't like use it on a dead corpse. But like afterwards, I looked it up on the wiki of Remastered, and apparently dumping it on a corpse actually does nothing in this game. Maybe they will add that eventually, but as of now, that does absolutely nothing. You can just drop it on any corpse and nothing will happen in this game. But you need to like put it in a 914 and then something happens or something. But yeah, it's very, very specific. But okay. Though Dr. Wonder Tamer's bubble, like a bubble gum or whatever those things are. I mean, I knew of them, but you know, there's a whole bunch of Dr. Wonder Tamers, or however you pronounce the name, items in the in SCP possession, and that's just one of many. But yeah, a whole bunch of SCPs. Maybe there are even some in here that I haven't seen, but you know, due to the state of how fucked this is, this save, I'm just gonna say, well, maybe for next time. So yeah, if there's another big update for the Remastered, I guess we'll revisit this at some point. But for now, I'm gonna sign off with a defeat, which is a bit unusual because usually I just exit the facility. But yeah, fucking hell. But one tip for the game developers here of the Remastered: please do something about that random teleporting of 049 and 966, because that is just the most bullshit thing ever. 079 was super unfortunately placed. I mean, that's not really necessarily the fault of the game developers, because that's just something that can happen. Like, alright. And it would, you know, technically it would have been a super safe area, because, you know, it's one tiny room with the elevator behind a locked door with a key card. So technically, once you're in there, you're safe. But then I fucking exit the elevator again, and all of a sudden 2 SCP-966s and 1 and SCP-049 are standing, all 3 of them like almost on a line, waiting for the elevator doors to open again. Absolutely ridiculous. Complete and utter bullshit. And not just one time and then never again. No, every single time. Every single time when I went to talk to 079, every single time I went back up, all 3 of them were there. Not just like a randomly 173 maybe there or no, it's always those exact exact same ones. Those exact 3 all the time, every time, and almost in the same locations as well. Absolute bullshit. What the fuck were you guys thinking for doing that? Like, it's not a coincidence. It's the same ones it's the same ones in the same places at the same time every time. That can't be a coincidence if it happens every single time in the exact same manner. Like, I don't know what the code is for that. Like, maybe it's a random SCP is always there. Maybe that's the code. And then once it is set on that, it is always set. So then no matter how much time has passed when you do it again, it just happens again because that's just the way it is. I don't know. But what the fuck? Do something about that. I mean, that is absolute bullshit. Fucking 966 blocking your path and 07 and 049 being there all the time, every time when you talk to 079. That's fucking bullshit, man. That is absolute bullshit. Fucking, you're trying to run away from 049, but then 966 is blocking the door just an extra middle finger to the player. Like, alright, man. I mean, come on. I know it's like a bit difficult. It's supposed to be a bit difficult, but this is absolute bullshit. Just remember, just imagine if this was key to difficulty. If, you know, it was insta death. You're like, you've survived for I don't know how many maybe like for up to an hour, you know? Like, you survived for an hour. Running around, fucking grabbing bullshit items all over the place, recontaining Radical Larry, letting MTF capture 173, doing all that running around, and then you finally disable remote door control, you walk your ass all the way back from entrance zone to the heavy containment, you find 079, you talk to 079, you come back. After all of that, the elevator doors open up, 3 SCPs in a line waiting for you when the elevator door opens, and there you go, there goes your permadeath run. Okay, sure, buddy. You're like, what the fuck? That is just so, that would have been so unfair if this was key to difficulty. And even though this is not key to difficulty, it's just bullshit. Just every single time when you exit the elevator, 3 SCPs that can kill you waiting in a line to fucking murder you. The very millisecond the elevator doors open and there's 3 SCPs there, that's fucked up. That is really fucked up. I mean, come on, it's supposed to be challenging, alright, I get that, but that is just unfair and not fun. You know, like, fuck off, just don't do that bullshit, it's so stupid. So yeah, that's my very, very, very big, humongous, ridiculously important point of motherfucking critique. Don't do that bullshit. I mean, the teleporting 049 around behind doors where he should not be able to get behind at all. That's bad enough as it is, but then they also decide to teleport him behind the keycard door right when your elevator door opens up. That's just fucked up. And then also 966 is there to block your exit. Because 049 being in the corner there when you exit the elevator, that's fucked, but doable. Because as you exit the elevator and 049 is there, you're like, oh shit, you can just put on the gas mask and run. You know, or, you know, in my case, I pretty much have the gas mask on all the time anyway, because I like to run all the way, everywhere. So, like, you exit the elevator, you see the guy, oh shit, and then you run past him. That's fine. You can even, like, if you're not comfortable with that, just put the ring on and then leave. That's also fine. But then what is not fine is, I mean, it's still fucked putting 049 there. It's still completely fucked, because you should not be able to get behind that door in the first place. But okay. We'll just let that slide. It's fucked, but doable. But then, what they do then is then they build 2 966 instances, also who should not be able to go past the fucking keycard door, by the way. But then they decide to put them not just randomly somewhere else, but directly in your only way of escape. Fuck you. That's just, they just deliberately did that to fuck up the player. I mean, I'm guessing it's just random. They randomly decide an SCP to be at the end of the elevator there, which is, and then just regardless of whether he's behind the keycard door or not. I think that it's very bullshit. I think like with 173 you can, and 106 you can pull that off because they can just teleport. You know, we know that. You know, you blink and then 173 fucking worms his way through somewhere where you can't see him, and then he just suddenly gets behind a place where you really did not expect him to be, because, you know, even in that room with the T-junction where you need to walk in that one part to press the button, there's a humongous vent where 173 drops through. So, you know, that makes sense that 173 gets in places where he kind of shouldn't be, but he can be because there's a vent or something there, and you blink, and then, you know, when he's not in your field of vision, he just fucking moves at lightning speed. So then it makes sense, you know. Or maybe like somebody escaped, maybe because, you know, you're not the only survivor. Maybe somebody else opened the door, and then like in the split second he fucking teleported a lot. Well, he didn't teleport, but he goes fast. But, you know, he like in that split second he fucking slides past and then into an area where he shouldn't be able to get in, and then, you know. So with 173 it's explained to him, and 106 especially, because he just, you know, he creates the pocket dimension and stuff. With those it's alright. But with 049, who has absolutely no teleporting abilities whatsoever, it's just bullshit. Same with 966. It's bullshit. They just can't. I mean, they're invisible, but they're physical still. They have to open doors. They have to walk. They can't just teleport to the other side of a door if they feel like going there. No, they can't. But yet here they do it just because the game says so, and that's so annoying. Like, come on. Either make an SCP or use an SCP that can actually teleport to do that, or make sure that SCPs that cannot teleport do not teleport. I mean, it's alright to sort of like teleport 049 around the facility a little bit, because otherwise it can be super easy to get rid of him. So I get that, but it's just like, what the hell? Like, you capture 106, you allow 173 to be captured, like all of that stuff, when you like disable SCPs, that should be rewarding. But the game says, no, fuck you, and they start teleporting 049 around more. That's their response. It has to be always as annoying all the time. Like, fucking Radical Larry approaches you every single time, like every 5 minutes. But then when you actually, like, make an effort and, like, put yourself in danger to bring yourself to Radical Larry's containment chamber, and you do the recall protocol, like, you're not rewarded. Your reward is that they decide, oh, they recontained Radical Larry, so we can't fucking chase the player around every 5 seconds. Well, in that case, we just upgraded. Congratulations, SCP-049. You've just been upgraded with teleporting abilities, and we're going to teleport you around the facility to, like, fucking every 5 seconds to make sure that you can chase down the player all the time, because you're going to now take over 106's role. Like, that is just so... No, like, I feel like when you actually make the effort and actually contain SCPs, you should be rewarded for that. It should be a bit easier. There should be less SCPs. Don't just start teleporting 049 around more because you've contained the others. No. It's just like, what the fuck? I mean, and it's so annoying. You clearly establish what rules the SCP plays by, and then you just shit on those rules by teleporting 049, for example, and 966. It's like, fucking hell, man, come on. And not only that, they're also camping 079's containment chamber. Fuck off, man, come on. They're just camping that, really? Really? The one place where you're forced to go every single playthrough, they're just camping that? Magically, of all places, they camp that one? Come on. I mean, fuck you. I'm done ranting, but fucking hell. Yeah, it's very appropriate actually that I get killed by 457, now I start to burn the game a little bit here, but yeah, I mean, come on, man, fucking hell. It was already bad enough when they teleported, like, the likes of 096 around. I haven't seen 096 at all here, just because I accidentally kind of, like, messed up his event. in that room. I've never seen him anywhere else after that. So yeah, but just don't give teleporting abilities to SCPs that don't have teleporting abilities. That's the takeaway from this. I mean, it's all right to sort of like very loosely and generally teleport them. Like maybe when you maybe when you like enter the entrance zone for a certain amount of time, then they will teleport. Then they'll calculate where the player is, and then they'll teleport 049 at the furthest end, but then in the entrance zone. Like that, sort of stuff like that. Like you have to be in entrance zone for a certain amount of time, and then they'll teleport 049 super far away from you in the entrance zone. And then if you're in heavy containment, then, you know, again, you have to wait for a long time, and then maybe, and then they'll teleport in, you know. That makes sense. Like, they still use the teleport thing, but that's just to overcome the fact that otherwise you would be completely useless. That's all right, because then, you know, when you're in the entrance zone, you know, like, when you figure that out, like, okay, I can't hang around here for too long because then 049 will find me. But then you also know that once you get behind a keycard door, you know, from heavy containment to entrance zone, for example, then you know 049 can't follow me for a while. It will take a while before 049 has found a way to me. Because, you know, and then you don't, you know, like I said, like behind the scenes, you just teleport him far away, and then he makes his pathfinding will find a way to you, and then eventually he chases you in the entrance zone, even though technically you shouldn't be there, but it makes sort of sense, you know, like you've been in the entrance zone for like a certain amount of minutes, let's say 6 minutes or something, I'm just making a number up, then they teleport him, and then, you know, it takes like, you know, 10, 15 minutes for 049 to catch up to you while you're in the entrance zone the entire time. It makes sense, you know, he walked around the facility, he found a way somehow to get in entrance, and then he chases you again. That's, you know, yeah, your headcanon for what happened. In reality, behind the scenes, they just teleport him after a certain amount of time. Same thing, but it makes more sense. You know, not just like, he's in 079's area. Let's just teleport him right at the exit. Just because. Oh, now he's there. He's just teleported right next to MTF. And MTF ignores him somehow. Like, no. That's just so... you just gave him 173's abilities. Like, no. Fucking... I mean, the teleporting itself is not the issue, but the way how they just went with it. How not so... They should have gone with it a lot more tactfully than what they have. That is the takeaway that you really should be having from this. Like, again, the teleporting is fine. I mean, it sucks, but of course I can understand. Otherwise, he's just completely useless. He's down in this tunnel. You never see him. Alright, fuck it. Fine, you know? But, like, don't just teleport him wherever. He's just fucking... He's like in ridiculous places everywhere behind keycard doors. I'm just like... Okay, and it's also behind he's always in important locations when I run into him all the time. It's beyond frustrating. So, like, just... Same principle with the teleporting, but there's no teleporting far away after you're in entrance in a specific zone for a certain amount of time, because then, you know, you can make up, oh, he probably found a way. That's why it took so long for him to chase me again, because he walks around the facility to find a different way, you know. In reality, you just teleport him after a while, but, you know, you can make it up. There's an excuse for why he teleported and why it took so long. Not just teleport him whenever or wherever you want. Like, every single time I left 079's area, he was always there. No matter when how often or how long ago it was that I met him last. You know, he's just always there. If it was fucking 5 hours, then he's magically there every time when I leave 079's area. That's just like, come on, man, what the fuck? But anyway, critique aside, but definitely, like, fix the teleporting stuff that's just annoying and just not fun. I don't know what happened with that 008. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe it's something when you update the older save to the newer version. Maybe. I don't know. Also, why did 500 not work after I got infected? I don't know. Maybe check that out. Those are bugs, I think. I mean, from what I looked like, from my perspective, they look like bugs. I mean, there's no way in hell I was near 008. And when I was, I wore a hazmat suit, so it may be just a bug from loading an older save to the newer version, maybe. Also, 500 didn't seem to do jack shit, so maybe look into that as well. Definitely look into motherfucking teleporting. I would also like to suggest MTF doing their job better. I mean, they captured 173, but then they were stuck in the corner of the server room for ages and never moved. So that is not really what that wasn't really what it was supposed to be. So look at that. And also MTF and ignored 049. I feel like MTF would not ignore a dangerous SCP like that. I mean, I guess it's kind of like weird to have MTF, what's it called? To have MTF be able to recontain every single SCP, but that's their job, right? Like, it's not that big, that's not that far of a stretch for MTF to actually, like, recontain every single SCP that they encounter once they enter the facility. Because it's kind of like a point of no return or whatever, you know? You have to enter the entrance zone to disable the remote door control system, and once you do, MTF enters the facility. And it changes the power dynamic. That's kind of like what it's supposed to be. MTF, all of a sudden, you have to be afraid of humans, all of a sudden. Like, you're the entire well, in addition to the monsters, of course. But then, slowly but surely, there's less and less monsters. I mean, obviously, you can recontain Radical Larry and that type of stuff, and you can like choose to like ignore 049 for the longest time. But the second MTF enters, they can capture 173, but that's it. Like, what? No, like when MTF enters the facility, the power dynamic should shift. There should be less and less SCPs because MTF is containing them. I mean, they can do it with 173. Why the hell can't they do it with 049? Why the hell can't they do it with 096? You know, I believe there's dialogue for that they like start to assemble something for 096, but in the end nothing actually happens. But you know, like put a bag over his head or whatever, and then slowly escort him back to his containment chamber. But you know, that should be like an entire different phase of the game. When MTF enters, slowly but surely they start to contain SCPs. I mean, their first objective, I believe, is to go to 106's containment chamber and initiate the recall protocol. If you listen to the radio, you can hear them sometimes when they're in 106's containment chamber. They're like, oh, somebody else has already recontained 106. Okay, moving to secondary objective. Because, you know, like, they, like, go for, like, those very dangerous SCPs first, contain them, and then they slowly, like, make their way over to light containment eventually. Like, that would be so cool if they actually could contain everybody. Because, you know, the biggest problem with the second half of the game is that you all of a sudden have to be careful of humans. You know, stuff that you needed, equipment that you needed to evade SCPs is not really useful anymore because now you're being shot by bullets. So, you know, now you could use the ballistic vest, now you can use the helmet, now you can use that ring SCP. What was it? 104 something -RU or whatever, you know, because like I believe, like I read somebody in the comments said, I feel like if you have the helmet and the ballistics vest and that -RU SCP all combined at once, then MTF can like shoot I don't know how many magazines at you and you won't die, you know. But all that equipment is completely useless when you're dealing with SCPs. Because, you know, they don't have bullets. So, you don't need the helmet, you don't need the ballistics vest, you don't need... Well, you could use -RU, but, you know, for healing purposes. But, you know, like, all that other stuff is completely useless because, you know, bullets... No other SCP has bullets. And even when NTF joins, you're still too focused on the fucking teleporting 049 and the teleporting 966 and the teleporting whatever SCPs they unleash. That's even in your limited inventory, you're gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm not, even though I can be shot by bullets now, I'm not going to use the ballistics vest because I need all of the other equipment to deal with the SCPs because they are still the main issue. NTF is just an added danger, but... It should be a switch instead of an addition. Like slowly, like the longer MTF is in the facility, the less and less monsters you encounter, and the more often you start to encounter humans. And then all of a sudden, all the equipment that you had for dealing with the SCPs can be discarded. Like maybe like you don't really need the gas mask that much because well maybe running is still useful, but you know like then all of a sudden the ballistics vest and the helmet that all of a sudden becomes useful equipment because now all of a sudden. Like I said, there's less and less monsters all the time and more soldiers, and then you know that shifts the power dynamic. But no, it's an added bonus of instead of being chased by a monster, you get shot. That's the difference. And otherwise you have to deal with a teleporting 049 and a teleporting 966. That's their added difficulty. Like, okay, well, they could have done a lot better. But yeah, make MTF recontain more SCPs. At the very least, don't make them just ignore, because that was the most frustrating thing ever. Fucking 049 and MTF were just walking right next to each other, all chasing me. I mean, I get that I'm the player, it's supposed to be difficult for me. I get that, but it's just out of character. You see, MTF is supposed to recontain everybody, but no, they decide to shoot a random D-class and just walk next to 049. That makes no sense at all. Just make them at least interact or something. I mean, if you don't want all the SCPs to be able to be contained by MTF NPCs, alright, that's your choice. I think you should, but okay. At the very least, just make them interact. Don't make them just ignore each other. Like the MTF is a fucking SCP too. Like 049 is like, hey buddy, like no, they're not BFFs all chasing me down. But that's exactly what happened. They just ignored each other and they just all went for me. Like, what the fuck? It makes no sense at all. Why the hell doesn't 049 go after the MTF? Why the hell does MTF go after me when 049 is there? It makes no sense at all. So, if you don't want MTF to be able to recontain every SCP, which I think you should, but if you don't want to do that, that's completely fine. But at the very motherfucking least, don't let MTF just ignore all SCPs except for 173. Like, come on, man. Alright, and then the final rant over, as in suggestions for other SCPs to be added, because I believe they're still adding new things. I never actually ended up finding 005. I don't know if 005 is in the game at all, or if it's just a teaser. If it is just a teaser, make sure you can find it. If you can find it, just let me know in the comments for next time. For when there's a new update, then I'll play the game again. Other SCPs, I think you should add SCP-038. I believe that's the number. The tree that can duplicate anything that touches it. There was a mod out there once that added 038 into the game. So, you know, like this game, the remastered is essentially all mods combined. So, you know, therefore I feel like, oh, you should also add that one in again. So yeah, 038, I believe that's the number. The tree that duplicates everything that touches it. You can also touch it yourself, and it'll grow a clone of you very quickly, and it will die very quickly as well. Super cool. But yeah, should add that. It's a super useful SCP as well, because you can actually, like, you can when your what's it called, when your pill bottle of 500 runs out, you can actually just use 038 to duplicate an infinite amount of SCP-500. So, you know, it could be a super useful SCP. If you fuck some items up, you can just duplicate them there. So yeah, definitely add that. Maybe some fun drinks in SCP-294. Always fun. Any other SCPs? I don't really know any other SCPs you could add. Well, maybe that Slides, which is one of my favorite SCPs, which number I always forget. 1572, something along those lines. Just like a fun way that you could kill yourself, I guess, because there are a bunch of SCPs out there that are just useless for story progression, you know, like 205, for example. That's just a creative way for you to kill yourself, really. It's nothing more. Fucking Dr. Wondertainment's bubble gum is also a creative way to kill yourself. The Coca-Cola bottle is also a creative way to kill yourself, so, you know. Why not add SCP-1572? I believe that's the number. Maybe not. But it's the slide. If you slide down it in a specific way, then you get teleported somewhere, and it's very freaky. It's very cool though. Just maybe add that one. That's my favorite. One of my favorite SCPs. I don't know how useful it'll be, but maybe 999 in the entrance zone somewhere. like as a sort of SCP-500, but then for not actual for diseases, but just for like if you interact with 966 too much, you lose your stamina fucking quickly, because you get like sleepy or drowsy or whatever. But then maybe you should add like 999 in the entrance area. You can essentially you can just use 660 or no, which one is that? 606 or 666? I can't remember which SCP that is. Which number it is. The one that says Eric? I can't remember which number that is, but essentially you can just use that sprite, color it orange, and then there you go. You can make him do the same thing, and then when the player stands near it, you get like a buff or something. Yeah, maybe 999 could be fun. 131 could be fun as well if they interact with 173. Could be really cool. Like you can you can spring them out of their containment chamber, and then you can lead them to 173. Then you can like contain 173 on your own. That would be really cool. So yeah, 999, 038, 1572 if that's the correct number. 131 could be a cool addition. Anything else? Well, there's so many SCPs you can pick. There's tons to pick from. Maybe those killer flamingos. Can't remember which number that is. Maybe those killer flamingos. Also, like a creative way to kill yourself. I guess not super useful. Yeah, that's about it. Really, don't really know any other SCPs off the top of my head right now. So yeah, those are some suggestions, some SCPs. Definitely a lot of things to fix. It is definitely fun. I mean, it is definitely reminiscent of SCP Containment Breach because of how buggy it feels. It feels like it's still like, oh, there's so many things. The weird, the fucking camera jerk where you're walking normally and all of a sudden your camera just makes your head force go in a different direction. Fucking scares the crap out of me all the time. Also, didn't even see the cowbell in this playthrough. I just noticed. Well, anyway. Yeah, anyway. Bunch of SCPs to add, in my opinion, that you could add for fun. But most importantly, a bunch of bugs and weird game mechanics that the developer should have a hard look at, in my opinion. Other than that, except for this final episode, everything else was a lot of fun. I got really frustrated there because of those guys teleporting in front of me all the time. It's so annoying. My god. So goddamn annoying. Yeah, and also have a little look at that fucking 008 infection that just randomly happened. I guess it's a bug because I saved on an older version and we're loading it in the new version, I guess. But, there's no fucking way I ever got infected by 008. Or maybe in the end, this is an effect from 966, but they just throw it under 008. I don't know. But yeah, definitely some improvements to be had. But it is definitely really cool to see all the, all the other additional SCPs in there. So yeah, if there's another huge update to Remastered, I'll play it again. But for now, I'll leave it be. I'll leave a link in the description. You can download this game for free on Steam. So you guys can, and there's also a map editor. There's a mod workshop page, I think. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of fun to be had. So yeah, anyway, if there's a new update, I'll play again. Other than that, that's it for me. So yeah, a death at the end instead of an exit because this save is so fucked beyond fucked that I don't really want to play all over again. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The rant about the game a little bit mostly for this episode, but hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Walete. While editing this video, I thought of one more SCP that I should really add to the game. SCP-268, the Cap of Neglect. In my rant about using humans and how that should change the game dynamic when MTF enters less and less SCPs, more and more humans that can shoot you. SCP-268 should be a fucking amazing addition for that. Maybe should be extra hard to obtain because it will make the entire human section of the game trivial. But yeah, definitely add SCP-268. Alright, see you later, Romans. Well, later.